I understand the need for Singapore Muslim leaders to claim the community has progressed. You have to support the PAP for your own safety. So you tell yourselves that the PAP is good. Let's stop pretending. As shared by Tanya Lee in her book Malays in Singapore, in 1957, right before the PAP took power, the difference between Malay and Chinese in professional, management, administrative, and technical jobs was barely 2.3%. 3.1% of Malays were in those roles compared to 5.4% of Chinese. By 1970, 11 years after PAP took power, the Malay percentage increased to 4.7%, while the Chinese jumped to 8.9%. In 1980, 5.4% of Malays were in PMAT roles, while the Chinese almost doubled to 15%. We were not far off while under British colonial rule, even though we know the British kept Malays down to make sure we did not become threats to their colonization while they promoted the Chinese in commerce. Even then, the Malays were able to compete. But after the PAP took over, the Chinese community received a boost. While Malays were denied permanent jobs and tertiary education for years due to their exclusion from national service, the Chinese community were able to go to university and become professionals and managers. This suppression of Malay economy has a long-lasting effect. Because the PAP suppressed Malay economic development, we had to take on more jobs to make ends meet. And we lacked the resources to send our children to tuition, to buy them educational tools, to send them to the best schools. Chinese families did not suffer from such disadvantages. So even today, our community is still far behind at school and at work. According to Mendaki, in 2020, only 10.8% of Malays have university qualification compared to 33% of the resident population. Between 2010 and 2020, the increase for the Malay community was 4%. The national increase was 10%. The problem we have is this. Malay community leaders like to look at numbers in isolation. They will say 50 years ago we were at X. Now we are at X plus 2. However, while we have increased slightly, the other communities that have not been suppressed have a lot more resources to continue jumping ahead. So as we struggle, as we push, as we work hard, we are always behind. Yes, the Malay community has grown slightly. The PAP suppressed us soon after they took power, while boosting the Chinese community. It is time for the Malay leaders to acknowledge the truth.